Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Motive English, the place where learning English is fun, easy, and practical. I'm Alex.
And I'm Emma. Hello to all our amazing friends listening at home, at work, or on the go. We are so happy you joined us today.
It is great to see you, Emma. You look cheerful today.
I am feeling good, Alex, but a little bit nostalgic too.
Nostalgic? That's a big word. What does it mean exactly?
It means I'm thinking about the past, about memories from last year.
Ah, I understand. I feel nostalgic sometimes as well. And you're right. Thinking about the past is perfect now because a year has just ended and a new one is beginning. It's a special moment for reflection.
Exactly. Reflection is looking back at the last 12 months, thinking about both the good moments and the challenges we faced.
That's a great topic. But before we dive deeper, let's ask our listeners for a small favor.
Yes, if you enjoy learning English with us, please click the subscribe button and join our Motive English family.
And don't forget to like this video and give it a thumbs up. It makes us really happy and motivates us to make more lessons for you.
Also, please share this episode with your friends. If they want to improve their English, Motive English is here to help.
And leave a comment below. We love reading what you write. Tell us your favorite moment from last year or the biggest lesson you learned. We'll read some of your comments in future episodes.
Now, let's get back to our chat. Alex, when you think about the past year, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
That's a good question. Let me think. I guess the first thing I feel is how fast time went.
Yes, time flies, doesn't it? It feels like last January was just yesterday.
Exactly. I remember New Year's Day last year. I spent it with my family and we had a big dinner. Now a whole year has passed.
Wow, so many things happened. Was your year busy?
Yes, very busy. I worked a lot, traveled a little, and spent quality time with friends. That's why the year went by so fast.
For me, some months felt fast, but others were slow. For example, February was very slow because it rained almost every day. I stayed home a lot.
Ah, yes, winter can feel long. But the summer months?
Oh, summer flew by. I went hiking, visited the beach, and enjoyed every sunny day. Fun times always seem to go quickly.
Let's use this chance to practice our English grammar. We can talk about the past simple. Emma, tell me one big thing you did last year.
Okay, last year I visited my sister in Canada. It was amazing. We explored mountains, lakes, and had a great time together.
Wow, Canada, that's far away. I didn't travel that far, but I started learning a new hobby last year.
Oh, really? What hobby?
I started playing the guitar. At first, it was tough. My fingers hurt and I made many mistakes, but I practiced regularly. Now I can play a few simple songs.
That's wonderful, Alex. So both of us experienced something new and exciting last year.
Yes, and remember, dear listeners, these stories also help you practice English. You can try talking about your year using past simple, like I traveled, I learned, I tried something new.
Or use present perfect to connect past experiences to now, like I have learned a new skill, I have met amazing people, I have improved my English.
Exactly. Reflection is not only about events, it's about how we've grown and changed.
Right. Thinking about our past year makes me realize how much has changed.
Yes, it's amazing to see all the small and big things we did. Some moments were challenging and some were joyful.
Exactly. And those moments taught us something important about ourselves, about life, and even about English.
So, let's keep exploring. I want to hear more about your experiences, Emma. What was a moment last year that really stood out to you?
Oh, there are so many. But I think one stands out because it taught me a lot about patience and trying new things.
Interesting. I can't wait to hear about it. Let's dive into that and more as we continue our reflection on the past year. So, Emma, you mentioned a moment that taught you about patience and trying new things. Can you tell me more about it?
Of course. Last year, I decided to learn painting. At first, I thought it would be easy, but it was harder than I expected. I made mistakes, my colors mixed wrong, and sometimes my brush didn't cooperate.
I can imagine. Painting does take patience.
Yes, it taught me to slow down, enjoy the process, and not worry about being perfect. Each mistake was actually a learning step.
That's amazing. And this is a perfect moment to practice English. We can use the past simple tense to talk about specific events. I learned painting. I made mistakes. I practiced every day.
Exactly. And if you want to connect past experiences to the present, you can use the present perfect tense. I have improved my painting skills. I have learned to be patient. I have tried new techniques.
That's a great tip, Emma. Listeners, you can try doing the same. Think about your year and describe one experience using past simple or present perfect.
Speaking of lessons, Alex, what was your biggest lesson last year?
I think I learned that taking breaks is very important. I used to feel guilty if I rested. I always thought I must work all the time. But last year, I realized that resting actually makes me more productive.
Oh, yes, that's a beautiful lesson. Rest is not wasting time. It's preparing your mind and body for better work.
Exactly. And I can say it in English using past simple. I rested more. I took breaks. I felt better. And with present perfect, I have learned to rest. I have improved my focus. I have enjoyed my work more.
See, Alex? English becomes easier when we talk about real-life experiences, and it's fun too.
Absolutely. And sometimes the challenges last year also taught us valuable lessons. For example, there were days I felt stressed or overwhelmed, but those days reminded me to slow down and appreciate small victories.
Yes, for me, the challenging moments showed me the importance of friends and support. Last year, when I was sick or tired, my friends were there to help me. They reminded me that good friends are like family.
That's very true. And that brings us to another English tip. You can describe experiences using expressions like helped me, supported me, encouraged me.
Exactly. Listeners, try this now. Think about one challenge you had last year. How did it teach you something? You can say, my challenge taught me patience, my experience helped me grow, I realized the importance of family.
And remember, sharing these experiences is not just practice, it also helps you reflect and grow. Reflection is the key to improving both your life and your English.
Yes, and looking back at the past year isn't just about events, it's about changes, how we have grown, what we learned, and how we can use it moving forward.
Exactly. And for instance, I feel like last year I became more confident in trying new things, like recording more podcasts and speaking in front of an audience.
And I became calmer and more patient thanks to painting and spending quiet moments with myself.
These are important lessons, and now, as we continue to reflect, we can also start thinking about our goals for the new year. But before that, let's share a few practical tips on how to talk about your year in English.
Great idea. First, pick one memory or experience. Then, decide if you will use past simple for a specific event or present perfect for life experience.
Next, use descriptive words to make it more vivid. For example, I traveled to the mountains. I tried delicious food. I learned a difficult skill.
And don't worry about mistakes. Speaking and sharing is the best way to improve. The more you practice, the more confident you become.
Yes, and now I think it's time to move on to even bigger lessons and experiences from last year. Moments that really changed us or taught us something unexpected.
Absolutely. And this is where things start to become more meaningful as we look deeper at the lessons, the changes, and the reflections that shape our English journey.
Emma, when I really think about last year, I realize that the most important changes were not always about big events, but about how I slowly changed as a person over time. I'm curious, when you look back at your year, do you feel like you changed in a meaningful way?
Yes, I definitely do. When I look back at last year, I notice that many of my changes happened quietly, especially in the way I treated myself. Last year, I was very hard on myself. If something went wrong, even something small, I blamed myself and felt disappointed for a long time.
That sounds very difficult, and I think many people can relate to that feeling.
It really was difficult, but after going through several challenging moments, I slowly began to understand that mistakes are a natural part of life. I learned that being kind to myself was more helpful than being strict. Over time, I stopped expecting perfection and started accepting myself more.
That's a powerful lesson, and it's also a great example of how we can talk about personal change in English.
Yes, for example, I can say, last year I learned to forgive myself, using the past simple. And I can also say, I have become more patient with myself, using the present perfect, because that change is still important in my life now.
That's a great explanation. When I think about my own year, I notice that I also changed, especially in the way I communicate. Before last year, I was often afraid to speak because I didn't want to make mistakes or sound foolish.
That fear is very common, especially for English learners.
Exactly. But last year, I made a decision to speak more, even when I felt unsure. I shared my ideas, I asked questions, and sometimes I made mistakes. But through those experiences, I realized something important. People understood me, and mistakes did not stop communication.
That must have felt very freeing.
It did. Now I can say, last year I spoke more, and also I have gained confidence in speaking, because that confidence is still with me today. This change helped me not only with English, but also with expressing myself in daily life.
Another big change for me last year was learning to appreciate small things. During busy or stressful days, I started noticing simple moments, like a quiet morning, a good conversation, or support from friends when I needed it most.
Those small moments often make the biggest difference.
Yes, they do. Because of that, I can now say I learned to be grateful, and I have learned to appreciate small moments. Looking back at the year helped me understand that happiness is not always about big achievements.
That's such an important realization. When we reflect on our year, we see that growth does not always come from big successes. Sometimes it comes from patience, kindness, and small daily efforts.
Exactly. And when we talk honestly about these experiences, English becomes more natural and meaningful.
Your year does not need to be perfect or exciting to be valuable,
It only needs to be real,
because real growth often happens slowly, step by step.
just like learning English.
When we talk about change and growth, Emma, I think it's also important to talk about mistakes, because last year reminded me that mistakes are not something to fear, but something to learn from.
I completely agree. When I think about last year, some of my most important lessons came from moments that were uncomfortable or difficult. There were times when things did not go as planned, and at first I felt frustrated or disappointed.
That feeling is very familiar. Many people believe that mistakes mean failure, but that idea can stop us from trying new things.
Yes, exactly. For example, last year I tried to create a better daily routine for myself. I planned to wake up early, exercise every morning, and be productive all day. But honestly, I failed many times. I woke up late, skipped exercise, and felt bad about it.
That sounds very real, and I think many listeners have experienced the same thing.
At first, I felt like I was not disciplined enough, but after thinking about it, I realized that the problem was not failure, but expectation. I expected everything to change quickly, and that was not realistic.
That realization is very important. Change often happens slowly, not all at once.
Yes, so instead of quitting, I adjusted my routine. I started with small steps. I woke up just a little earlier, exercised a few times a week, and slowly built better habits. Through this experience, I learned that progress is better than perfection.
That's a great lesson, and it's also a great way to practice English. You can say, I tried something new. I failed, and I learned from it. These simple sentences carry a lot of meaning.
Exactly. And if we want to connect those experiences to the present, we can say, I have learned to be patient, or I have changed my expectations, because those lessons are still part of our lives today.
For me, one of the biggest challenges last year was balance. I worked a lot and often forgot to rest. I thought being busy meant being successful, but over time, my energy dropped and I felt exhausted.
That can be very dangerous if it continues for too long.
Yes, it can. That experience taught me that listening to my body is important. I started taking breaks, sleeping better, and giving myself time to relax. Now I understand that rest is not laziness, it is necessary.
That's such an important message. Many people feel guilty when they rest, but rest actually helps us grow stronger.
Exactly. Now I can say, last year I worked too much, and also I have learned the importance of rest. This way, English helps me express real lessons from my life.
Exactly. Now I can say, last year I worked too much, and also I have learned the importance of rest. This way, English helps me express real lessons from my life.
That's very true. Reflection helps us understand what really matters.
And when we understand those lessons, we don't need to regret the past. We can accept it, learn from it, and move forward with more awareness.
That's the power of reflection. It turns mistakes into teachers.
Yes, and when we talk about our challenges in simple English, we are not only practicing the language, but also understanding ourselves better.
Exactly. English becomes a tool for growth, not just communication.
And that makes the journey much more meaningful.
After looking back at the year, talking about changes, challenges, and lessons, I noticed something interesting, Emma. Reflecting on the past doesn't make me feel stuck there. Instead, it helps me feel more prepared for what comes next.
I feel the same way. When we take time to understand our experiences, we don't carry confusion into the future. We carry clarity. Last year showed me that growth doesn't mean becoming someone new overnight, but becoming a better version of who I already am.
That's beautifully said. For me, reflection helped me see that I don't need to rush into the future. I can move forward with intention, using the lessons I've already learned. When I think about the new year, I don't feel pressure. I feel readiness.
Yes, readiness is the perfect word. I don't feel like I need to change everything. Instead, I feel motivated to continue the good habits I started and gently improve the areas that need attention.
That mindset makes goals feel less scary. Instead of saying, I must be perfect, we can say, I will keep learning. And that applies not only to life, but also to learning English.
Exactly. Learning English is a long journey, just like personal growth. You don't need to be fluent tomorrow. You just need to stay curious, stay patient, and keep practicing.
When I look back at the year, one thing I feel strongly is gratitude. I'm grateful for the lessons, even the difficult ones, because they helped shape who I am today.
I feel that too. Gratitude changes how we see the past. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, we begin to appreciate what those moments taught us. That shift makes us calmer and more confident.
And gratitude is easy to express in English. You can say, I am thankful for what I learned, or I have grown because of my experiences. These are simple sentences, but they carry deep meaning.
They really do. And when learners talk about their year this way, they practice English while also building self-awareness and confidence.
As we move forward, I think it's important to remember that every year is different. Some years are loud and busy, others are quiet and slow, but each one has value.
Yes, and no matter what kind of year you had, it matters. Your experiences matter, your effort matters, and your progress, even small progress, matters.
Especially in learning English. Every word you learn, every sentence you try, every mistake you make is part of your growth.
So as you think about your own year, try to be honest and gentle with yourself. Recognize what you learned, how you changed, and what you want to carry with you into the future.
Reflection is not about judging yourself. It's about understanding yourself.
And when you understand yourself better, both life and language become easier to express.
That's the true goal. Not perfection, but progress.
Step by step.
Year by year.
And sentence by sentence in English.
Thank you for spending this time with us on Motive English. Keep reflecting, keep practicing, and keep moving forward with your English.
If you enjoyed this conversation, remember to subscribe, like, and share it with someone who is learning English too. We'll see you next time.